professional portfolio is one of the course requirements for Education 5000. It needs to contain samples of these items. The most convenient way to collect these artifacts and present them to your instructor is to create and share an appropriate folder structure from your Google Drive. This tutorial will show you how. Start by creating a top-level folder in your Google Drive. That is, a folder not contained within any other. One way to do this would be to click on the large New button at the top left of the Browser tab. When you do this, New Folder is an option. Use the naming convention that includes the course name, your name, and the academic year. So, for student Mika Patel, who was enrolled in the 2021 academic year, the folder should be named as follows. Next, inside the folder, create subfolders for each of the types of items that should be in the portfolio. Do this by selecting the folder you just created and then right-clicking on it. New Folder is an option. For each subfolder, use abbreviated names for the categories and place the resume and cover letter in the same folder. When done, the structure should look like this. Next, you will share the top-level folder with your instructor. Start by selecting the folder and then right-clicking on it. Left-click on Share. For the box that pops up, do these actions. Enter this email address. Uncheck the box entitled Notify People. Check to make sure that you are using the right folder. Change the access level from Editor to Viewer using the drop-down. Finally, click the blue box to complete the process. The top-level folder, the subfolders it contains, as well as the files in those folders, will now be shared with your instructor. In this case, for example, the Assessment Activities subfolder already contained 4 files before the folder was shared. These are now all shared with your instructor. Likewise, this file, which is already in the Class Presentations folder, is also shared. But what if that folder was not complete? What if you also had files on your own computer? How would you share them? No worries. All you do is right-click on your Google Drive in the area below the existing file and then choose Upload Files. Next, you would navigate to where the files are stored on your computer and select them. When you click Open, they will be uploaded to that subfolder on your Google Drive. The next part is the best part. You don't have to do anything else to share them. Because they are in the shared folder, they too will be shared with your instructor. It's worth saying a few words about file naming conventions. You may have noticed the file names we have seen so far were a mix of letters and numbers, and none of them contained any special characters or spaces. This is good practice. Let's see how it applies, for example, to your resume. Let's start with this. Never name your resume simply resume. This is a file that will be sent to quite a few people. Can you imagine how the HR person on the receiving end feels about getting inundated with thousands of files and all of them named resume. They have no way of knowing whose it is, and it's hard to tell often whether it's out of date. Ideally, your file name should tell all of that. Now, look at the way Mika Patel named their resume. It's clear what it is, who it belongs to, and when it was created. Notice that instead of separating the parts of the name using spaces, hyphens, and the like, we simply capitalized the first part of each word. Notice also that the date is in a standard format. Get used to doing that for all of your files. At the end of your last semester, around the time you get your final grades, you should unshare this folder. Start by selecting the top-level folder. Next, right-click and select Share. On the pop-up, now select the email address you originally shared it with. On the drop-down, click Remove, then Save, and the folder and all its contents will no longer be shared. Your Brightspace shell also contains a print version of this tutorial. You may refer to it from time to time when necessary. One final thing. If you would like to learn more about file and folder management, this Brightspace shell also contains a tutorial on those topics in both print and multimedia forms.